Welcome to the Explainer. You know that feeling, right? You're frantically checking notifications, your thumb is just scrolling on autopilot, and you feel constantly busy, but also kind of empty? Well, today, we're diving deep into this paradox of modern connection, how being more plugged in than ever can actually leave us feeling more alone.
This quote from Men's Health just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures that feeling of what they call digital loneliness. It's this weird experience of being surrounded by hundreds, maybe thousands of online friends, but still missing that real, genuine companionship we all crave.
And this isn't just a hunch or a feeling. The numbers are pretty stark. A recent study found that 12% of Americans say they have no close friendships at all. Now, what's truly staggering is that this is a fourfold increase from 1990, when it was only 3%. We are literally in the middle of a friendship recession.
So to really get a handle on what's happening, we first need to look inside our own minds. What is it about our own psychology that makes us so vulnerable to this strange digital emptiness?
Well, it all starts with a really basic human drive, something called social comparison theory. Basically, we are hardwired to figure out who we are by looking at what everyone else is doing. It's just how we're built. The problem is, our modern digital world has taken this natural instinct and put it on steroids.
So this comparison thing kind of breaks down into two types. You've got downward comparison, where maybe we look at someone worse off and feel a little better about ourselves. But then there's upward comparison. And social media, with its perfectly curated feeds of amazing vacations and career wins, is a machine built to push us constantly toward upward comparison. We end up measuring our messy, everyday lives against everyone else's highlight reels. And that right there is a recipe for feeling like you're not enough.
But here's a super important point. Research actually shows it's not social media itself that's the big bad wolf here. It's all about how we use it. See, a big study found basically no link between just using social media and feeling lonely. Instead, it's the compulsive, problematic use, the kind that gets in the way of your actual life, that's strongly connected to feeling more alone.
Now let's look at how this all fits together. Because our basic human psychology is meeting technology that has been designed in very specific and, frankly, very powerful ways. This isn't just about our personal habits. It's about the very architecture of the digital world we live in.
This framework from researchers at Oxford is brilliant. It perfectly illustrates the problem by identifying 4 core ways the digital tech can contribute to this feeling of ill-being. Let's break them down one by one.
First up, there's time displacement. This one's pretty simple. It's a zero-sum game. Every hour you lose to just mindlessly scrolling is an hour you didn't spend on something that actually fills you up. Like connecting with family, working on a hobby, or even just getting a good night's sleep. It's that little pang of guilt when you finally look up from the screen and realize how much time has just vanished. Second, we've got interference. Now, this isn't about the total time you spend online, but about the quality of the time you have left. All those constant pings, buzzes, and pop-ups, they shatter our concentration. They make deep, focused work, or even just having an uninterrupted conversation, almost impossible. Our attention is being sliced up into a million tiny pieces.
Third on the list is boundary blurring. Our phones and laptops basically collapse all our different life roles, parent, employee, friend, you name it, into a single overwhelming stream of notifications. This creates what researchers call telepressure. That's that constant nagging feeling that you have to respond to a work message immediately, no matter if it's 10 p.m. or you're at your kid's soccer game. It just erases the lines we need for a balanced life.
And finally, there's exposure. This one brings us right back to that social comparison we were talking about, but it also includes all the other negative stuff we can run into online, like cyberbullying or just endless doom scrolling. So the big takeaway here is that these aren't just random side effects. They are direct consequences of how these digital platforms are designed.
Okay, now let's zoom the camera all the way out. Because what feels like a really personal struggle with your phone is actually part of a much, much bigger story about the very fabric of our society that's been unfolding for decades.
Just listen to this for a second. This quote paints a picture of a world that was just packed with physical, community-based groups. These were the places, the unions, the clubs, the bowling leagues, where people connected, face-to-face. And for decades now, these kinds of groups have been in a really steep decline.
And as this timeline shows, it's been a slow burn. The move to the suburbs in the 60s started to prioritize privacy over community. The 70s saw the decline of big community pillars like unions. In the 90s, TV kept us on our couches at night. And now, in the 2010s and beyond, social media has created this brand new thing, posting alone, where our social lives are often performed online, from the quiet of our own homes. Okay, so we've looked at the psychology, the technology, and the huge societal shifts. I know, it can feel a little overwhelming. But here is the good news. There are clear, proven strategies we can all use to fight back and start to reclaim our focus and our time. The very same researchers who pointed out those 4 harms also identified 4 types of disconnection strategies. You can set limits on your time, your access to certain apps, the channels you use, or even the content you see. It's really all about being more intentional and figuring out what combination works best for you.
And it's not just academics thinking about this stuff. People are coming up with their own really clever, practical tips. On forums like Reddit, you'll find these simple but powerful hacks. Turning your phone to grayscale actually makes it way less appealing to your brain. Leaving it in another room creates a physical barrier. And I absolutely love the sticky note idea. Just a little note that says, here we are again. It's a gentle, funny way to snap yourself out of it.
And that really leaves us with a final big thought to chew on. We spend so much energy focusing on our own willpower, trying to resist the pull of our devices. But what if the problem isn't just us? What if the problem is the digital world we've built? And if that's the case, maybe it's time we started to think about how to redesign it.